Hello all you magnificent people, Derpo the Magnificent here, and today is a bit of a different video. So, for the past couple of months, I've been working on a mod of my own. This is a Nuclear Throne mod, where I'm basically just going to be taking a lot of the weapons from the video game Nuclear Throne and putting them in Terraria, because the guns in that game are freaking amazing. So, I'm very quickly going to go over all of the items that I have put into the game so far, and then I will go over some of the problems that I currently have, because as this is my first mod, I have many problems and questions. So, I guess to start with, if you are a modder out there who is interested in Nuclear Throne, I would love all the help I could get. Anyway, let's move on. So, the first item we have is the Wasteland Shotgun. None of these have crafting recipes at the moment. I mean, they do, but they're all made with a single dirt block. All of the damage values you see are completely work in progress. But yeah, just thought I'd get that out of the way. So, this is a shotgun. It shoots 5 pellets in a random spread at semi-random velocities, and the shells bounce. And after traveling a short distance, they dissipate. So, you know, just a shotgun. Looks pretty nice. All the projectile sprites and stuff like that are pretty much identical to the ones in Nuclear Throne, but they don't have the glow effect around them. I may attempt to add that at some point, but I'm not sure. All the weapon sprites, though, are remade by me to be more Terraria styled. I don't know if I'll eventually change the projectiles to fit in the game more. I don't know. They fit pretty well at the moment. But yeah, so that's the first one, just a shotgun. Next up we have an assault rifle. It's just an assault rifle. It just shoots 3 bullets, pretty simple. But yeah, it's an assault rifle. I really like assault rifles, so I thought I'd add the assault rifle. Next up we have a slugger, which in Nuclear Throne is a shotgun that fires all of the pellets condensed into one big old blammo. This is a high damage, short range, high knockback weapon, and the shells also bounce. It's just a very nice, satisfying weapon to use. All of the sounds are also taken directly from Nuclear Throne, probably should have mentioned. Next up we have a crossbow. Oh yeah, all of these have ammo stuff that isn't consumable at the moment. It's infinite, but I can easily change that and will in the future. So, shotguns and sluggers consume slugs. I need to change that to shells, though. Bullet weapons consume bullets. Crossbows and stuff consume bolts, and energy weapons consume energy. So yes, this is the next weapon. It's a crossbow. I mean, that's it. It's a crossbow. It shoots a bolt that pierces one target and travels very, very fast and has no gravity. Mostly because I can't figure out how to add gravity, because it turns out that's complicated. But also because that's how they work in Nuclear Throne, and I'm trying to replicate them as close to the Nuclear Throne weapons as I possibly can. So, next up we have the plasma gun, which just shoots a big old green ball that hits about 6 times every single time. So how this works is in Nuclear Throne, the plasma ball, it's a big old green ball just like that, and when it hits an enemy or a block or a wall or something, it will shrink approximately 3 times. It's more than that in Nuclear Throne, but I simplified it down to 3 times. It shrinks 3 times and then explodes. So the projectile hits an enemy 3 times, then explodes, and the explosion hits another 3 times. So yeah, I've managed to replicate this by making it spawn more projectiles when it dies and stuff like that. I can go into detail later, but for now, I'm just doing a quick overview. Also, it's a little bit glitchy if you fire it at sloped surfaces. Not really sure why that is, but, you know, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. And then we have slightly upgraded versions of all of these weapons. We have the Super Slugger, which is the slugger, but it shoots 5 shots and does way more damage. And again, these bounce. Just a big old shotgun. Very cool. And next up we have the heavy crossbow, which does more damage, fires slightly slower, and pierces 3 targets? Yes, pierces 3, dies on the 4th. Eventually I would like to be able to get these crossbow bolts to stick into enemies and the ground and stuff like that, but not quite sure how to do that at the moment. Then we have the auto crossbow, which is exactly like the crossbow, but does more damage and fires faster. It's also slightly inaccurate, just like the one in Nuclear Throne. And then lastly we have the plasma cannon, which it's like the plasma it's like the plasma gun, but it fires one big plasma ball that explodes into 10 regular plasma balls. So it hits many times, and does a lot of damage. And the sound is definitely very glitchy. But I'm pretty happy with how this has turned out. Like, it's not perfect. The spread between each of the balls as they come out isn't exact, and I'm not sure how to fix that. And it's incredibly glitchy when you fire it at sloped surfaces. RIP headphone users. Yeah, it tends to duplicate the frick out of itself when you fire it at sloped surfaces, which is amazing, but I'm gonna have to find a way to fix that, because that can probably be abused. So yeah, really happy with the plasma cannon, and I'm really excited to eventually work on the super plasma cannon. That's just gonna be fun. But yeah, oh yeah, the other last item is that I just put my mask in as an item. I don't know if it's... I'm pretty sure it's not craftable at the moment. I don't remember. But yeah, great for impersonating some internet jackass. Me, hello. But yeah, so those are all the items and stuff. Just a quick overview. You can now tab out if you don't care. But I'm now going to go into slightly more detail about how I've done the effects on these things and problems that I'm currently having. So, for the shotguns and sluggers, the projectiles will move forward a bit, slow down, and then once they reach a certain speed, I've told the game to kill them. And once they die, I've told the game to spawn another projectile that is basically the animation. That's it. That's all that projectile exists for. Because as far as I know, there's no way to tell the game to only animate a projectile when it dies. I mean, that's probably a thing, but this was the easier solution. Just make an animated projectile when it dies, and it's only around long enough to play the animation once. Those projectiles themselves don't actually do any damage, as you can see there. The only problem with them is that those projectiles copy the velocity of the original projectiles, so when I fire them at a target at close range, they keep that velocity up and fly away, which looks kinda cool, but it's not very similar to how Nuclear Throne works, and since that was kind of the object of the mod, was to get it as close to Nuclear Throne, I would like to find a way to get rid of that, but if not, that's fine. Another problem I currently have is sound. If you... yeah. The sounds that I have in the mod tend to stack and are very, very loud when doing so, so I need to find a way to make only a single instance of every sound play at once, so that you don't get, like, you know, the duplication. Yeah, that's... I don't want that to be a sound that you hear while playing the game normally. Plus that just, I don't know, it just sounds a bit buggy. Not very well done. So, I would like to figure out how to get rid of that. Let me see. Assault rifles, normal. That's normal. Oh yes, how I'm doing the plasma gun. So it's pretty simple. It's just so it fires the big plasma ball, and then when it hits an enemy or a block, it shrinks down to a medium plasma ball projectile, and then once that medium projectile dies, it shrinks down to a small projectile, and then once that dies, it spawns the animated explosion thing. And the main reason that I've done it like this is because the weapons in Nuclear Throne work in a specific way that I find very interesting. It's that if they kill an enemy, they will continue to pass through the enemy, like this. See? The projectile kept going. But if they don't kill an enemy, if all of the projectile is used up, then it just, like, it goes away, it explodes. And I really like how that works. Projectiles that only pierce if they kill an enemy. So, yeah, I couldn't really find any other way to make a projectile only pierce when it kills. There's probably code that can, like, tell it to explicitly do that, but if there is, I don't know what it is. So, that was my solution, was to make it spawn multiple projectiles upon death. And that's exactly how the plasma cannon works as well, just on a bit of a larger scale. Now, of course, this does mean that I have 6 different projectiles. I think, no, yeah, 7 different projectiles counting the explosion spawning from just one thing. So it's a lot of probably completely unnecessary code, but it's the only way I've found to get it to work. So, if anyone could figure out a better way to do that, please let me know. And I think that is it for the moment. I definitely have a lot of other questions and challenges, but those are for later weapons. I want to try and implement lightning weapons eventually, because those are my favorite weapons in the game. Melee weapons are probably going to be an interesting challenge, because I don't want them to work like Terrarian melee weapons. I want them to work like Nuclear Throne melee weapons. So that's going to be really interesting. And laser weapons. I have no idea how I'm going to do those. So yeah, that's it. That's all the progress I've made so far. This is like 2 or 3 months worth of work. It's coming along fairly well, and I'm quite happy with it. Also, another thing that I want to do, I don't know if this is a possibility, but I would love to add screen shake to when you fire the weapons, just like Nuclear Throne. Because that's one of the things that makes the weapons in Nuclear Throne so satisfying, is the screen shake when you fire weapons and hit enemies and stuff. I know screen shake is a thing, because I know the Spirit mod had it for their Atlas boss, or whatever. So I know screen shake's a thing, I just don't know how to do it, because that's the only place I've seen it, is the Atlas boss fight from Spirit mod. So, yeah, but anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling now. That was just a quick showcase. Hopefully you enjoyed. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all have a magnificent day. Turbo the Magnificent out.